Are you someone who overthink and you wish to stop it because it's driving you crazy and draining you mentally, but you don't know how to stop? Somewhere around this video, I will share with you 5 tips according to me that will help you achieve that. But before then, what is the real reason behind overthinking? I believe we all know what overthinking is, so I don't have to dive deep by explaining that. But there are two types of people that experience overthinking, and this is someone suffering from anxiety, and then that's an overthinker. Yes, I know this can be confusing, so I would love you to know the difference between an overthinker and someone suffering from anxiety because they have some things in common, but they are two different people. Who is an overthinker? An overthinker is someone think of multiple scenario or outcome or problems, topic, or anything you can think of. They are introverted in nature and they spend most of their time on the lows to analyze things or action before carrying them out. Being an overthinker is overwhelming. It's a situation when an individual thinks much more than normal people do. They live with their imagination and they are often desperate trying to find solutions to problems, even problems that are not existing, an illusion they create themselves. It is a state of mind where an individual plays different scenarios in their head, and this can lead to serious stress, complication, and sometimes anxiety. A lot of individuals who are overthinkers suffering from overthinking are often found alone. They notice even the smallest change in someone or something. And the same people with this issue are often looking for how to stop the heart. They read books and maybe watch videos on YouTube on how to. And one of the common guidelines or solution I hear people offer is practicing mindfulness. This is true though if you are someone suffering from anxiety or if you are an overthinker. Even though some people testify that it works, but deep down, reality remains the same. It does not. You still find yourself overthinking over and over again. Who is someone suffering from anxiety? People who suffer from anxiety are a set of individuals who worry about the outcome of a decision and action or fear the outcome of a decision already made. This type of people worry too much about the future and the past, about how things will turn out, and this leads to absorption, fear, panic, or sometimes depression. I will play a sound now, and if your brain reacts and stop thinking for a while, probably maybe you're an overthinker. But if your brain did not, maybe you're someone suffering from anxiety. How does it go? I believe now you know the difference between an overthinker and someone suffering from anxiety. So let's get to the main point. How do you stop overthinking? If you are an overthinker, how to stop overthinking? I have news for you, a good news and a piece of bad news. I will go with the bad news first. And the bad news is, as an overthinker, you can stop overthinking. Yes, you heard me right, and I know it sounds disappointing. You can't stop overthinking because that is who you are and who God the Creator wants you to be. It's a gift, just like every other gift, like singing, dance, or playing instrument. God created you to be curious about everything and finding answers to questions no one is even asking for and noticing everything around you. And of course, the gift is a blessing and also a curse. And one of the blessings that you can predict the outcome of a situation. The outcome of a situation is one of the multiple predictions that you made. And sometimes it happens exactly the way you predicted it. If an overthinker said this is what will happen, it happen exactly the way they predicted it. Not because he or she saw a vision, but because he or she have calculated the possible outcomes. The cause is that it's draining you mentally because you spend a lot of time realizing scenarios that are not real and may not become reality. Too much of thinking has been can lead to fear, worry, and anxiety. Another cause of being an overthinker is that overthinkers are very smart and lazy set of individuals. But when I say lazy, I mean very, very lazy. They spend a lot of time planning an event to the extent that it becomes overwhelming to carry as they plan. They find it difficult to make a simple decision because they overtake even the simplest tasks and easy situations. One of the crazy things you can do as an overthinker is to overthink that you want to stop overthinking. You can see how twisted that sound. You're an overthinker, and now you are overthinking that you want to stop overthinking. That's very crazy. So, as an overthinker, try to change the narrative about this, like tearing off the cover of your book, but the content still remain the same because the cover only predict what is in the book. Overthinker is who you are, and overthink is what you do, and you can't change that even if you don't want to admit it. And here is the good news. And the good news is that you can manage how you think. Overthinking is an art you can't stop as an overthinker because it's a natural part of you, but you can manage it effectively. In this video, I'll walk you through step by step on how you can manage how you think as an overthinker. The first step to managing your thoughts as an overthinker is to practice mindfulness. I know I said at the beginning of this video that mindfulness cannot stop you from overthinking, but it can help you stay focused and concentrate if you don't try to stop overthinking or focusing your thoughts on a particular thing at a particular time. One of the things that drain an overthinker physically and mentally is that they think of multiple things at a time. But if you can focus and narrow down your thinking on a situation, it will really help you a lot. The second step to managing your thoughts as an overthinker is to practice detachment. This is very important. Learn to keep your circle small and don't be too attached to people emotionally or emotionally invested in someone. This is the worst enemy of an overthinker, And how I know this because I'm an overthinker too. Overthinkers are introverted set of people by nature, not because they are happy to be, but because not everybody understands their vibes. And this makes it very difficult for them to associate with people. But once they meet someone who matches their vibe, they are very playful and talkative because they believe they have seen someone and the opportunity to talk about the things they have been thinking about for a very long time. And if this person is showing interest too, they become emotionally attached to that person and become dependent on how that person interact with them. You notice even the smallest thing in this person, and if this person stop giving them the attention they think they need, they become sad and worried, thinking maybe they did something wrong or they are not good enough. And as usual, they start to overanalyze things. The best way to deal with this feeling is to practice detachment and not to be emotionally connected or invested in someone, and try to keep your circle small for your own peace of mind and well-being. The third step to managing your thoughts as an overthinker is to trust your gut feelings. One of the advantages of being an overthinker is that you know the outcome of everything. And sometimes when you want to do something, your inner voice tells you not to, or you do it anyway. Most of the time, nothing happens. Some of the times, we regret it. Maybe getting into a relationship or friendship or wanting to take some action. Trust your gut feelings. Trust me, I know it's hard, but you will see the difference. The first step to managing your thoughts as an overthinker is to learn how to control your emotions. Overthinkers are emotional reflectors. And what I mean by this is that they reflect the emotion of people around them that they love. When the person they show interest in is happy, they're happy too. And when that same person is sad, they become worried and think maybe it has something to do with them. Or maybe they could make something better. This can be overwhelming, and the best way to deal with this is to learn how to control your emotion. Emotion is the expression of man's feelings and the predictor of his action. The most effective way that I've tried to control your emotion is to act directly opposite. I've tried this and it's worked effectively. And what I mean is this: when you are angry, try to laugh. When you are happy, try to be sad. And when you are silent, try to talk. I know it's very hard, but you will see improvement. The fifth way to managing your thoughts as an overthinker is to shift your thinking to something resourceful. Most of the things we overthink and think about are something that has no value to us, and we know. We prefer to do the things that we know will hurt us and neglect the things that will be profitable to us. Like I said, this is your talent and you should use it for something resourceful. Things like thinking about business idea, how to build a good connection that will profit you. You can be a writer and write about things that most people don't see that you notice. This will not only help you mentally but also financially. Overthinking as an overthinker is a rare gift that many people who has it hate it and are willing to drop it because they don't know how to harness its power. You can't stop it. You keep repeating it over and over again. And the more you think about it, the more it drains you mentally. You are a visionary because you see things most people don't see. You know things most people don't know. And you think the way most people don't. So accept it as who you want and make use of your God-given talent. Now, how do you stop overthinking and someone suffering from anxiety? I will share with you 4 tips, and tip number one is to practice mindfulness. Practicing mindfulness as someone suffering from anxiety is quite different from an overthinker. You don't need to only focus on the problem, but also your environment. Concentrate on what you are doing when you are doing it. Don't fear the outcome of a situation, but focus on finding solution to it. Tip number two is deep breathing exercises. Meditation and deep breathing can help calm your mind and reduce overthinking. You can sit somewhere silent or lie on your back if you know you won't sleep, and if you do, it's okay too. After sitting or lying down, close your eyes and breathe in and out. And if you want to make it more fun, you can count down from 100 to 0, or start small like 10 to 0 or 20 to 0. Just like this: 99, 98, 97, and so on. Tip number three is to challenge negative thought. When something negative hits your mind, don't feed it, just let it go and ask yourself, is this thought really true? Tip number four is to seek professional help. You can book a therapy section or talk to people who have experience or have experienced the same thing you are going through and ask them how they deal with it. You can talk to a few friends and relatives if you know they won't judge you. Know that anxiety can be caused by many things, which overthinking is one of them. Instead of fearing the outcome of a situation or decision, which eventually leads to overthinking, trying to find solutions to them. Finding solutions sometimes may be hard, and this is when you seek help from a reliable source. It may be from a family, friend, relative, or people you trust. Just in case you're wondering why I made a lot of explanation about overthinkers or not the same from people suffering with anxiety, it's because I specifically make these videos for overthinkers as I am one of them, and I know how frustrating this can be. And as someone suffering from anxiety, I want you to benefit from this too. Knowing the difference between an overthinker and someone suffering from anxiety, that these two individuals both overthink, but while someone suffering from anxiety fear the outcome of a problem or situation, overthink and find solutions to them. If a problem well stated is half solved, try to analyze yourself to make sure if you are someone suffering from anxiety or an overthinker. as they both have some things in common. If you can follow the steps in this video, at least you should be relieved and know how to change and where to focus your attention at. Another step I would love to add is self-discovery, but it will take a lot of time and to make this video longer, and I don't want that. It's very helpful to let you know who you are, how you react, and the way you react, the way you reacted. So if you want me to make a video about self-discovery, comment self-discovery in uppercase or capital letter, and I'll make a video about it. Well, at the end of the video, and if I was able to help in one or two ways, please like this video. If you have anything to add, let's enter in the comment section. And please, I'm begging you, subscribe to my channel. This is the only way you can show appreciation for this video. I'm all about spreading positivity and inspiring people. This is the notification bell, so when I drop a new video, you'll be notified. My name is Samuel, and I will see you in the next video.